Hi, I'm Brittany, here with your art fail of the day. Alright, today guys, I'm going to show you how to paint a Christmas tree that's outdoors, not the one that's in your house right now, but one with snow covering and Christmas lights, kind of like your neighborhood pine tree decorated for Christmas. And you will need for this your acrylic paints, a green, like a dark green, white for the snow, and then I have red out right now, but any colors that you want to be the decorations of your trees, like the little lights, if you want like a multicolor light look or blue lights, whatever color lights you want, get those paints out. I use a lot of water usually when I'm using acrylic paint, so if you also want a little cup of water, that'll help out for some blending probably. Okay, let's get started. Alright, so take a little bit of green on your brush. We're gonna do one large triangle on our paper. A large skinny triangle. So we'll do a line like that. And go back up to the top. Do another line down like that. And connect those two at the bottom. Very simple triangle. Probably a simple shape that you've made for a lot of Christmas trees. And we're gonna fill this in. It's okay if you go a little bit outside the triangle. We're gonna do branches later anyway, so if you mess up keeping it in the lines, that's fine. It'll be your branch later. Okay, we have our green triangle. Now we gotta make the layers of our tree. So we're gonna make our branches now. So kind of just come out like that. Doesn't have to be a perfectly straight line. I just kind of dab some paint down. There's not really a spot that you need to put this line down, just kind of eyeball where you might think it looks good. See how I'm kind of creating some layers? So you do want to leave a little bit of space in between these lines that you're jutting off of your tree. Let's do one at the top here. I'm kind of mostly dabbing at first where I want that line to go and then kind of thickening it. And adding a little bit like thinner lines a little bit too. And we're going to have some branches sticking up here. If you've ever looked at your Christmas tree, there's some just like sticking up like that. And this kind of comes to more of a thinner point up here at the top of our triangle. Right, that's one side of our tree branches. You can kind of darken parts of the triangle that you painted before. Or fill in any white spots that appeared after the paint is drying. Right, so you see how that one side is good. Now we're going to the other side and doing the same thing. Just some lines off. Create the branches. Different sizes too. We're gonna basically try to get rid of that straight line. Kind of hide it with these branches coming off. And I'll do another one sticking up in the air. Okay, get your tree branches to how you like them. If you need to make your triangle a little bigger because you messed up a little bit, that's fine. Just hopefully you left a little space on your page. Right, so I could, basically what I'm saying is I could, if I say like I didn't like these branches, I could bring my triangle down and out and making my tree thicker and then start over with my branches to make them how I want them to be. I'm just using my extra paint to fill in. Kind of adjust my other side a little bit. Okay. let your tree completely dry. Not just a little bit tacky, completely dry before we do the next step. Okay, next step, you will need your white paint. We're gonna do the snow-covered branches next. So get some paint on your brush. Now, you see where you did your lines off the sides? We're gonna sort of follow those. So start from one side and then kind of not necessarily a straight line. We're just kind of blotching some paint all the way across to the other side, to our other branch on the other end. And so if you see here, I kind of made it sort of look like there is a branch sticking out towards us right here. So that's the reason for not doing like a straight line across. We're just kind of doing different blotchy shapes all the way across. And if you can see, I kind of got some green in mine because I did not fully wait for things to dry. So I'll probably have to go over with another coat of white. But that's okay, I'll just wait for things to dry and be patient. So I'm gonna kind of continue that method in the places that I feel like this snow would be settling on. And if you see the motion of my paintbrush, I'm kind of holding it upright and using this edge, the straightened edge, to blotch. So it kind of follows like a branch pattern. And then carrying it over to our other branch like that. Now if I had painted the background first, like dark blue for the dark sky, you probably would be able to see this snow on the edges more. But since I'm just kind of showing you how to do this, I wasn't going to do a background. But if you want a background, be sure to do your background color first and then do this painting a tree over that once that's dry. So we're going to continue this down our branches, and then I'll go back up to the top and kind of show you how I'm going to do those. And you can kind of do this where you fill in a whole area, like the snow super settled on that side, so there's a little bit extra. And then you can also do it where you do maybe like halfway like that. So there's a little less snow on that part. And you see how some areas I just kind of leave it when I run out of paint, that it's a little less white. It kind of gives that a different effect of the snow, being a little less snow there, and then the heavier snow is the darker white. It's all about how much paint you put on your brush. So I'm gonna do over here kind of that same thing where there's a lot of heavy snow on this side. And then do a thinner line across. And like I said, you can do this half line, and even like from this line you could skip over a little bit and maybe like do a little bit right here. Because of the way the branches stick out, some branches are gonna have snow and some won't because they're more inner branches. So it'll kind of give that same effect, that like a branch here is sticking out further to get snow on it than the ones inside here, if that makes sense to you. Now towards the bottom we're gonna have mostly dark because a lot of this is gonna be underneath. Underneath shadow, and also like the snow isn't gonna fall under the tree like directly. Because most of it is gonna be on like the ground next to it, which again, if I had a background, we could do snow on the ground next to it. So I'm gonna make it look like there's snow right here, so we don't have our triangle as much. Alright, so now the top. Get some white paint, and we're gonna follow the top of this down like that, because when the snow is falling, it's falling from this direction, so only that side of the branch is going to have snow on it. And then we can kind of do our snow across right here. And then the top of this one, top of this one. Okay, and I'm not going to touch up here because I'm going to put the Christmas topper, the star on the top. So, if you only wanted to paint an outdoor tree with snow on it, this is your stopping point. Thank you for watching and painting with me. Please like this video if it helped you. And everyone else, if you're going to continue on to decorate it, we need to stop and let our snow dry completely. Be patient, go walk away, get some water, stretch, and then come back and we'll do the final step. Okay, so we're gonna do Christmas lights on our tree and our star tree topper. I picked out the colors yellow, blue, and red. I'm probably gonna mix the yellow and blue together to make a light green light mixed in there. But use whatever colors you want to make your Christmas lights on your tree. And I'll show you a technique of how to make it kind of look a little bit like it's glowing. So I'm gonna take my tinier paintbrush, because we're just gonna do the little dots basically. So I'll show you with the red. We're gonna do just some dots. Need a little bit bigger dot. Okay. Dot. Just kind of randomly on your tree. I do kind of follow the branches still. It's not completely random, because when you string lights, you're stringing them across those branches, so they're gonna be sort of uniform in that sense, but as far as like the different colors, you're probably gonna stagger them based on the string of lights that you're doing. So like if I was doing straight red lights, I would just do a dots all the way across kind of thing, but I want to fit in my other colors, so I'm kind of leaving spaces. And I'm noticing for me I messed up a little bit right here by putting like 3 in a row so close instead of staggering them out. But sometimes I guess that happens when you string Christmas lights on stuff. Depends on how long your string of lights is and if you have to connect it to another string of lights because it just wasn't long enough. I'll probably do one more color and then go back and show you the shiny light technique on the red ones to give them time to dry. I don't want to do too many towards the bottom. Go back up here. Okay, I'm gonna move on to my next color. We'll do yellow. If you have a little bit more like watery acrylic paints, you might have to dab for either longer or come back and fill in that circle, because I don't know if you can notice with mine, but it's not quite thick enough that you can, it's just straight yellow, which it might be fine because we're gonna add another dot for our light shining technique. We're basically gonna mix white with whatever color that light is. Add a very light dot in the center. And your lights don't have to be dry, but it'll probably work a little bit better if they are dry. Okay, now I'll show you what we're doing to make our red light shine. So I'm gonna take a little bit of red. We're gonna use mostly white and make that more of like a pink. Even more white, like it's gonna be way more white than whatever color the light is. So I'm going to add a dot. Right, they look a little like they're glowing and shining already. And you can actually make them look a little more shiny by adding a tiny dot of white as well after this pink, or your lightened version of, oops, that's yellow, lightened version of whatever light color you choose. So I'm just going back around, adding a little dot or a little bit more of pink to each of these red lights, like they're shining a little bit. It just gives them a little bit of a look that they're glowing. So then after this, I could go in with a little dab of white, and that makes them seem like it's the tiniest dot. I don't even think you can see it unless I zoomed in a ton. I'm just doing a little tiny dot on top of that, and it makes it look just as like slightly bit more twinkly. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to, and like that it looks plenty twinkly by just having a little bit lighter of that color on it, because I don't want to get too crazy with this white either. Like some of them I don't even want to do it on. It's just certain ones are a little bit more twinkly. Okay. Then I'll mix a little bit of lighter yellow. And do the same thing with my yellow lights, which will help when some of it didn't fill in all the way to begin with. I'll just add in that roundness with my lighter twinkle color. And that's basically the gist of those twinkle lights. So I'm gonna go ahead and go up to the top and do that star topper. Get about this size brush, might be a little bit easier. Okay, so we'll take our yellow again and make a 5-point star. So I'm doing triangle, exit across, bring it this way, and then down back that way. Not the best star, but there we go. Straighten out its corners a little. There's our star. I kind of ran out of room at this top too. And once again, if you want to make that look like it's glowing, we'll do the same lighter yellow and just add a little bit to that center. Of course, it's still wet, so it's not, I have to mix a little bit more to make it stand out. There we go. Or just, since it's still wet, you could just do a little bit of white in the center. And do some stark white. Make it a little shinier. Did almost like its own 5-point star in the center. Okay, and to finish it off, I'm going to do my blue lights and my green lights. The same technique. fill in the rest of my tree. I'm gonna cut to some music and speed this up a little bit. And you can do your dots along with me to some Christmassy sounding music. Thank you so much for painting along with me. I hope you had fun learning how to paint this Christmas tree. If you did, please give this video a like and subscribe for more content like this. And I hope you have happy holidays and a wonderful new year.